Hey, so there's been a huge thing that David Dole show did a clip on for a clip of C-SPAN that shows Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez getting to the root of everything that I have espoused on my channel, and it she does it in a brilliant way. And if Uh, and for those that are watching, and any of those who watch my channel will see exactly what I've been talking about. And that is all I'll say. So check out uh, a post by C-SPAN on with Alexandria Ocasio Cortez and the I forget what it's called, but it basically she's been put on a committee that has to do with uh, I think it's banking or economic or something like that committee, and the questioning that she does, uh, it's absolutely brilliant. It shows everything that I've been talking about, and uh, and the reason why I use the terms I use, and the reasons why the current and the past and current system, and uh, and why we need a revolutionary change in the system that we have. So check it out. It's on C-SPAN. It's very recent. Um, probably less than 24, uh, possibly 30 hours old. Uh, check it out, and uh, and you can make up your own mind about it, because it's it will blow your mind, and it will wake you up to the realities. And my thanks to Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, and and onto something. Uh, Farron Cousins, who has a channel called Ring of Fire, and Jimmy Dore, and a few others, have been saying very similar things to as to what I've been talking about. Farron Cousins of Ring of Fire recently talked about corporate money and politics. It's something that a conclusion that I come to a long time ago, and only started talking about it on my channel, which my I don't have a lot of viewers, but I'm hoping that people will be able to look at my channel. And but basically, he's coming around to what I've been talking about. He's not using the terminology that I use, but it's a step in the right direction. And one of the things that he talks about is that media should be covering all candidates with equal time, regardless uh, of whether or not they have money. I don't agree that the government should fund it. I think the fact that the media has been given privilege by the American, and with CNN and MSNBC and many others, including the BBC, which is not a U.S. thing, but still, uh, they the fact that they have the privilege to quote unquote report, give journalistic report, um and the fact that the media is given rights by the Constitution, they should be given because it is their patriotic duty, and it is their civic duty, and it's their moral duty to do this, and so they shouldn't be getting paid and rewarded for doing what is right, and that is something that I've covered on my videos, um, and so I'm for public government public funding for elections. So that's something I can agree with, and I don't think that people should be dishing out even $200 to. I think all money, whether it's corporate or grassroots, should be taken out with government funding equal for everybody, and with media who with laws that say state media must give coverage to all candidates uh, with no wiggle room for exclusion. I think that is the way to go. And actually, I don't think I know that's the way to go, because that is the only way we're going to be able to keep everybody who wants to represent um, the Americans. So that's the way it should go. Um, but Farron Cousins is right of the Ring of Fire that, and TYT is right that, and many others on the indie channel side is right. Corporate money and ultra wealthy money, uh, meaning the multimillionaires and the multi billionaires, uh, and now with Amazon and others who have actually reached $1 trillion um, value. Uh, None of those should be able to. Even if you only make 30,000, you shouldn't have the ability to do that. And the fact that we have a system that the fact that money must be used to get uh, to get the message out that you want to represent is in itself flawed, majorly flawed. And so that's it. Check out Alexandria Ocasio Cortez on her committee, and the absolutely brilliant and wonderful thing that she has done. And Alexandria, I salute you for what you've been doing and for representing uh, the people. And we should all be proud to have you representing us. Um, my love and success to Alexandria Ocasio Cortez and others, which there are only a few. And unfortunately, it is less than what I can hold in two hands, put up in two hands, as far as the count on fingers. That's that shouldn't happen. Also, Farron Cousins also covered something else. I forgot to mention this, um, and and that is about and TYT and others have got getting corporate money. But I've put in solutions as to how to get movements, and Farron Cousins makes it sound like it's like climbing Mount Everest, and TYT and many other indie channels do it, but it isn't, because a general strike by the majority of the U.S. public will, number one, will bring full-throated attention by the politicians and by the media and the corporations and the ultra wealthy, uh, and it will open up their ears and force them to listen. A general strike meaning, and I've talked about this oftentimes on my channel. Everybody stop doing whatever. Don't go to work. Don't pay your taxes. Don't pay your bills for your utilities, your phone services, uh, your uh, your cable. Stop buying gas. Stop going to the grocery stores. Stop doing all that. As a community, from local on get together, help each other out uh, to help feed each other and supply the needs for the community while you're doing this general strike. Work together, pull your skills, your intellect together to buy time to get the message out. And that is how you do a general strike. You do this, and they will have no choice but to stop and listen. So, and the other way, and the other thing that I've talked about on my channel is enough with, standing up behind one person or a couple of people. Run as a group, not like the Democrats and the Republican Party, but run as a group, meaning the entirety. So you cover for state, local, and federal, and you all run together for even for the DAs and judges and so on and so forth. So for your congressmen, for your senators, uh, uh, for all around, and run as a group and go as a group. So if you're doing federal, go as a group, meaning that you want to cover your mayors, your councilmen, all those. Run and go as a group and talk as a group. Have a couple of people represent and speak on behalf of the group. Travel through your states, and if you're doing for federal, travel through the federal and cover it all, and have ties with the state group. Do this, and we can cut through all of it. We can apply what's necessary to make change immediately because the system is an imminent threat. It is a clear and present danger to life, liberty, and justice. It is a clear threat to morals, principles, and ethics. It is a treasonous, seditionous act against the majority. And that is what I've been trying to say. That is what my channel is talking about. And that is what several channels are starting to come to understand. Jimmy Dore has taken a step. Farron Cousins of Ring of Fire is taking a step. And there are others that are coming to understand. Also, I just thought of this. Um, as a political, well, not a political, because politics is basically uh, criminals, as far as I'm concerned. So, as a representative action, I think we need to do something like die, Diem something. It was started by the Greek, ex-Greek finance minister. Diem 25. We need, and that's a political, representative action globally, and we need to do that. We need to have a global action so that those who are running to represent here in the United States should be tied in the groups that are in the UK, all across Europe. We should support in Central America, South America, North America, in China, in in Russia, in Africa, in Australia, you name it, around the globe, because that is what we need. Because climate change is a no, not a climate change, climate catastrophe, climate genocide, eco genocide, biosphere genocide is killing us right here, right now, in the present, and it's dying now. It's dying now through the economic and economic terrorism, uh, through the uh, through the wars, through the political terrorism, through the uh, through all emotional terrorism, intellectual terrorism, uh, and it is killing us all now in the present, in the way it's making us so that we can't buy food, we can't use common commodities that we all should have access to, uh, from healthcare to utilities like electricity and water. Uh, we should have access to not access, but we should have the 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 core of being able to use devices like I'm using right now, and having access to internet, having access to television without that's not gonna that you don't have to pay for, so that we can have true journalism, uh, stuff like this. We need a common action for the common good, and we need to understand that we are interconnected, no matter where we live on the planet, and that the dying off of our of the biosphere is a direct and imminent threat, and that that when we bring so much imbalance, so much destruction of the biosphere, and that is, when I say biosphere, I'm talking about our water, our air, our plants, our animals, even to the microbes, uh, are, you know, it ultimately just comes down to that in the very near future, it's going to start killing us, and it'll be a slow death, but it will kill us all. And so we have to understand that it is all interconnected, and that need we need to live in a comprehensive, collective way. That we must care about what happens to our environment, what happens to our air, what happens to our animal life, birds and insects, and we have to understand this, that we're all interconnected, that we all need to have a logical and empathetic and compassionate relations. Otherwise, we're just committing slow suicide. And so the question is do we want to commit collective suicide, or do we want to have a viable ecosystem that we can survive and prosper? All right.